Hey, Cookies here. This is the Bigwigs setup walkthrough for Ara-Kara, City of Echoes. This is going to be the first dungeon we're doing, and I'm just going into this a little bit blind. I've ran the dungeons a little bit in the beta. I've been doing a lot of heroic spamming and stuff like that, and the previous dungeons from older expansions that are going to be in Mythic Plus for Season 1, like Mist of Tyrna Scythe and Siege of Borealis, I've done those in previous expansions, so that's the experience that I'm going to be drawing on. But for now, we're starting with Ara-Kara, City of Echoes, so we're going to open up our Bigwig settings. And the main goal that we're going to be going to, so first we're going to go to Dungeon Bosses, go to Ara-Kara, and then we're just going to be going through each of the bosses in the trash. And the goal with each of the bosses is to set up basically one ability is going to be a red bar, like we're going to change the color to red, because right now my default settings for Bigwigs is I set all my bars to this like kind of whitish gray color, so it's just a neutral color. So if I just run like a quick test bar, you can see it's just a gray color. But then when it's an important ability, we're going to make it red. And then when it's a kind of ability that we're going to want to be, if there's like a secondary ability that we want to be aware of, which sometimes in dungeon bosses that's not the case, but sometimes it is. So if that is the case, we're going to make it yellow. So red, yellow, and then lastly, if there's anything else we need to be aware of during the boss fight, adding a countdown timer, or even having the countdown timer be, on the red bar ability, for instance, if we want to be aware of it ahead of time. So one red bar, one yellow bar, one countdown. Some of those might not always apply, but that's the goal. So we have the first boss, Avanoxx, which is, I believe, the giant spider. And with this boss, it's basically going to be the alerting shrill is going to do the most amount of damage, and it kind of just happens instantly. So if you're not paying attention to it on timers, it can really throw you off, especially in higher keys, where if you don't have, like, depending on the class you're playing as far as healers go, if you're not ready for the damage intake, it's going to surprise you and probably kill somebody. So we're going to set this for sure as our red bar, and probably our countdown also. So I'm going to set this as a countdown. All I do is click this countdown button. And then we're going to go over to colors, and we're just going to change the normal bar color right here. We're going to take this, we're going to kind of steal this red color right here. And I think what we can even do, what I've done previously, is we just change this to, yeah, no, that doesn't. So I just copied the code from this one right here. Hopefully that works. We'll copy it like that. And then we'll go over here and just hit paste. So that'll, and I have emphasize bars disabled. So all of my bars, whenever something goes off, they will just all stay here and stay the same size. I don't like when they move around the screen and stuff, so I just keep them all in the same place, and I just change the colors for them. So that's why the emphasize bar color doesn't really matter. Okay, and then next, so we have that as our countdown and our red bar. So next up we have, if anything, if there's a yellow bar for something, which for this it's going to be this Gossamer Onslaught, which the boss just does a similar kind of channeled cast where the boss does a bunch of unavoidable damage to the entire group. It's less than the alerting shrill, but not by much. So we're going to set this to the yellow bar, just so that, again, we can kind of preemptively prepare for it. So we're going to set this, all we do is just go like this, and I believe we just add green. So it's just, I just changed the colors to make it yellow. Doesn't have to be perfect, but that's just how I do it. So that'll be yellow, the other one will be red. And I think that's it for that boss. So next up we go to Anub'zekt. And this is going to be, Impale is the frontal that he does on a random player. That's not too useful, but what we can do with this is I can change the sound. And I usually do, if I am targeted by something, I usually do this flag taken PvP sound. So like that, that'll just tell me, hey, you're the one targeted by the frontal. And then, let's see. Oh, I see. The impale is actually what happens when he does after he charges. So he burrow charges to somebody and then he turns on them and does the impale. So we'll just leave that there for now. I'll always change it if it gets confusing. But let's see. Infestation. Calls a swarm to feast on a random enemy player. Upon removal, they will form into a ceaseless swarm and hunt. This is the one that I think that just spawns under your feet. It's just like the circle of swarm that spawns under your feet, and you just got to move out of it. It applies like a stacking dot to you if you're standing in it. And then the Eye of the Storm is where you have to run in and stay inside the circle. He doesn't actually do like any unavoidable healer damage, which is pretty much what we're looking for. So I think what we'll do is set... we'll probably set our countdown to the Eye of the Storm, I think, just so that we know when we need to stack in. But other than that, we really don't need to set a bar for any specific of these. If anything, maybe the infestation is like a yellow bar, so that we know when that is going to be happening. So we'll go like that. That way we can just see ahead of time, like, okay, these are going to spawn under people's feet, so some people might take damage, or that way we can move preemptively. That way if they spawn under our feet, we're already out of them. But other than that, I don't think we really need to change anything. And then this is Mythic difficulty. Web Mage encases its target in a tight, blah, blah, blah. Webs immobilize the target and increase their nature damage taken. Okay, yeah, nothing else for this boss. We don't need like a red bar for anything as far as I know. And then lastly we have Ki Katal, the Harvester. This one we're definitely going to, let's see. We have the Cosmic Singularity. This is the pull-in ability that the boss does. This would probably be good for a countdown, but we'll see what other stuff is going on as well. Grasping Blood is just the stuff that falls in the ground, so that doesn't matter. The webs is the stuns. They're just little swirlies all over the ground. Venom Volley. Blast all players with venom, reducing their movement speed. And applies a dot. And then Cultivated Poisons. Inflicting every 1 second for 8 seconds. Okay. So let's see, which one does more damage? That's all that really matters. So this is 386 nature damage immediately, and then, okay, so this Venom Volley is definitely the most dangerous, like as far as, you know, we're going to need healing prepared for it. So we're going to set this as our countdown and our red bar. And then for our yellow bar, we will do the Cultivated Poison, since that's another dot that she does. Very similar setup here with applying multiple dots that are pretty similar, just like the first boss with the channel damage. And then lastly, for the countdown, we did the countdown for this one, actually, the Venom Ball. I think we're going to keep it there. It's possible the countdown would be better for the pull-in, that way we would just know ahead of time when it's going to happen. But for now, we'll just leave it at the Venom Volley, and then I can always change it later. Cool, and then we'll just take a quick look at trash just in case we want to change anything. Resonant Barrage is just something that channels constantly, so don't really need to worry about that. Web Spray. Does not look like any of these are going to matter too much. Cool. We will leave the rest of these blank until we actually like start playing in Mythic Plus and seeing how polls go, and then maybe sometimes I like to change, like if something's really important to interrupt, I'll usually change it to say interrupt on it. Like I'll change this, you can go to the sounds, and then down here there's ones that just say specific words for you, and you can just have it say interrupt. So that can be really useful if you don't want to pay attention to it, you just want to like focus kick it, because then you can just focus it and then have a kick macro, and then you just wait till you hear the word interrupt, and then you just press the kick macro button. You don't have to look at bars or pay attention to when the cast is going off or anything like that. You just have Bigwigs basically tell you when to press the interrupt button. Cool. I think that's it for Ara-Kara City of Echoes. So we will keep going through each of these. I'll probably try to upload them every single day leading up to the new season coming out this week, or next week, I guess. So yeah, stay tuned. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.